In our search for different market structures, we stumbled across what we identified as perfect competition, the fruit market. Located in the underpass of the Canal Road, the Barrington Road Market is an example of a perfect competition, as it has many sellers, standardized products, no price setting power, ease in entering and exiting the market, little advertising, and no economic profits in the long run. The first characteristic of the market we tried to determine was whether or not the market had many sellers. As we walked across the whole Barrington Road Market, no larger than 2 to 3 blocks, we counted 5 different fruit vendors. And because of the small area where buyers and sellers could conduct business, as compared to the large number of vendors, we determined that there was, in fact, many sellers. The ease of entry or exit from this market was also seen to be easy, as the market had no restrictions or barriers for people to move in and out of the market. People wishing to buy or sell fruit didn't require much technology or money to start up the business. Therefore, the ease of entry or exit from this market was relatively high. When observing the 5 different vendors or sellers, it was obvious that the items they sold were all the same. All of them sold bananas, apples, oranges, and pears among others, for example, with minimal differentiation between sellers. This is an example of homogeneous goods. And in addition to the same goods being sold, the prices for fruit were relatively similar from vendor to vendor. For example, as we took statistics on the different prices of fruit, we found that oranges and bananas cost $10 a portion, for example, regardless from which seller. As all sellers priced their fruit at the same price, we could see there was very little price-making power for individual sellers, making them price takers. They all sold their products at the market price. We also noted that there was very little advertising between sellers. At most, the sellers would shout out and try to persuade you to buy their product, but beyond that, advertising was minimal. There were no billboards or commercials showcasing a specific seller, since all 5 vendors sold the same good at roughly the same quality. And because of all these factors, all 5 fruit sellers do not earn long-term economic profit. While they can earn normal profit, they do not have economic profit, as new firms can always enter the market without much restriction and drive the markets of fruit lower until no profit is possible. And the combination of these different factors make the fruit market an example of perfect competition, as it has many sellers, standardized products, being price takers, easy in entering and exiting the market, little advertising, and no economic profits.
The competition of the industry of phone-making plans in Hong Kong, which in this case we filmed 123, 3, Smart Tone, is considered an oligopoly due to the industry is only dominated by a few firms. If you ask anybody in the student body who has a mobile phone about what channel they use for their phone, their answers would be these few firms. The ease of entry and exit is difficult because of the cliente's trust in existing companies, the required technology to carry out the service, and the licenses needed from the government. There is some price-making power, because a few firms only run the industry in this particular region of Hong Kong. If one firm decides to raise its price, the other firms will continue to follow them in order to gain more profit. An oligopoly product can be homogeneous or differentiated, but in this case is differentiated. Companies have different offers in order to satisfy different groups of people, such as teenagers and businessmen. An example of this may include price, quantity of minutes on the phone, and limited time for internet roaming. Teenagers may love to have a price of unlimited texting in their mobile phone plans in order to contact with their friends, while businessmen may need other plans for other uses, such as checking the stock prices even when they are on vacation in another country. In this case, when barriers to entry create an oligopoly, firms can make an economic profit in the long run without fear of triggering the entry of additional firms.